Thank you, Leslie, for joining us. Why don't we start by you giving us a brief summary of your baby journey, and let's go take it from there.
Oh man, yeah. So we've been married for a long time. We've been together for like more than 20 something years.
Oh my gosh,
and
I'd forgotten about that.
I know, yeah, when I was like really young. But anyways,
when you were a baby.
I think in my late, I know. And I mean, in the beginning, we're like, oh, we're not sure we're going to have kids. But then in my 30s, I think I start feeling it, you know, as a woman, you know, like your biological clock just starts ticking. Yeah. But anyway, so we tried a little bit. We had a miscarriage when I was 38. And after that, we've tried and tried. We went through 3 or 4 inseminations, and it didn't work out. They didn't work out, and then that's when I started to come to you. And I think I spent over 2 years with you, right? Or around 2 years, I think.
Yeah, it took a little while.
Yeah, it took. Yeah.
Yeah. If I actually didn't, or I didn't look at your records, I guess I should have, but there were some issues with your menstrual cycle that we needed to correct first, right? Oh, it was, we needed to correct your menstrual cycles first.
Yes, because I had since the beginning, since when I was younger too, like I didn't have a normal period. Like my cycles was so long. Like sometimes I'll go like 60 days or even 80 days. Right. And then towards the end of my treatment, I think you got it down to like 40 days, 42 days. That's why I didn't give up, because I knew like my body was agreeing to the treatment, you know, towards the end. And that's why I was like, no, you keep on going, you know, even though it took a long time, but you know, it worked.
It worked.
And yeah.
What do you think was the best thing that you did to get pregnant?
The best thing I think it's the mental part of it. I think we start doing meditations every weekend. I think it's on Saturday or Sunday. I forgot, but I feel like those helped a lot.
Yeah.
Like it's just your mental state. It was just like before coming to you, I was very emotional, like very fragile, you know, like very like unhappy, you know, because it wasn't happening to us, you know. But once I saw you and then start talk about like the emotional part the mental part was so important for me. Besides, you know, like the physical, you know, like the nutritions and things like that you taught me. But the mental part is so important too. It helped a lot going through this.
What changed for you mentally as you were working with me?
Is how the way I think, like, okay, so it's gonna happen, you know, like just thinking, like taking those negative that my primary doctor told me, oh, you're too old, you know, to have a kid now, you know, but you kind of make me taking that negative, turn it into the positive and say, no, I can do this, you know, like my body, like I deserve this, you know, like I deserve to be a mom, you know. Yeah. And that's how, because one time I remember I was in my doctor's office and I was so disappointed at her that she just like bluntly told me, you know, like you're really too old, you know, because I think I came in for her thyroid and my thyroid problem too. And then we were talking and she said, yeah, you're probably too old to get, you know, like pregnant and conceive naturally and things like that, you know. But then I was thinking in the back of my mind, I can hear your voice. And I was like, no, I'm going to beat the odds. No, seriously, like I hear your voice. I was like, no, like I'm going to show you, I'm going to have this baby. I'm going to have a healthy baby. And that's it.
I've had other clients say they can hear me in their voice, in their heads. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, because I can be pretty direct and very blunt about things. I'm like,
see? Yeah.
So what was it that, was there something that you could identify that really helped you to shift from just really, you said you were kind of more emotionally fragile to just really believing in yourself? Or was that just a time thing? Was there something that happened or?
No, I think it's just a time thing, because working with you, meditating, kind kind of envision yourself as a mom in the future, seeing your baby walking towards you, smiling at you, you know, and I kind of implanted that in my head. And I think one time you told me that if you look at a pregnant woman, do you feel happy? Do you feel sad? You know? So I started to feel very happy. I started with a smile, I remember, because walking through the hospital, I remember one day I was looking at a patient and I just smile like regardless if I feel jealous or sad, whatever for myself, I just kind of force myself to smile at her. And from there, it kind of
that's
like,
really
oh, wow, there's
interesting.
a baby in there. Yeah, and I could be carrying a baby too. And that's how it started. Just little things like that.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
glad you brought that up because it is
Yeah.
difficult for a lot of women to, I mean, it's
Yeah.
not like they wish ill on other women, but it's hard for them to be truly happy for other women because they want it so
Yes.
much. So in your case,
Yes.
it sounded like you basically faked it until you
I faked it in the
genuinely,
beginning.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
that's really
faked
interesting.
I actually faked it in the beginning, but over time, like I feel like the energy coming towards me.
Oh, I love that. I didn't know that. Yeah, I didn't, that was the first time I heard
Julie?
it from you. Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I for a second, yeah, like I envisioned like a baby in there and I was like, oh yeah, I can be like I can be in the same spot someday,
Yeah.
you know, and I feel like it's so hard to explain it. Like it's just there's like some energy, you know,
Yes.
like as I was passing a pregnant, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And
And,
I tell
mhm.
this to people who are clients or not clients is you want to be able to get to a space, whether you're faking it or not, of being happy for the other women, for the other people who are blessed, because that energy comes back to you.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and if you're feeling that jealousy and sitting in that jealousy, their energy, their mommy energy is completely blocked off from you. You
Yeah,
can't share that energy, and you really
right.
want to be able to share that energy because they're pregnant
Exactly.
and you want to
Yeah,
be in that. And I say that all the time.
exactly.
I say that like if you want to be a millionaire, who you're going to hang out with? You're going to hang out with other millionaires as much as you can. You're not going to hang out with broke
Exactly.
people because you're just going to stay broke,
Mhm.
or you're going to get broke if you weren't broke in the first place. And so it's the same
Yeah.
thing
Mm-hmm.
with
Yeah.
the motherhood. It's like enjoy being with other women who have really young kids or who are pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually glad that you said you had to force yourself, and at a certain point it shifted over where you were genuinely happy for them.
Yes. Yes.
And when that shift happens, when you can really share that abundance of other
Yeah.
people's blessings, it comes back to you so many times over.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Um, I work in the hospital, so I go to the NICU too, and that kind of sad in the beginning when I had the miscarriage, but then I turned it when I saw you. So I turned that into like a positive experience when I
Mhm.
go to the NICU and
Yeah.
looking at baby, I was like, oh, that could be my, you know, like, oh,
Oh,
I can know. Yeah. So I've used those. Yeah. So that helped a
oh,
lot. Yeah.
good for you. Yeah. I tell people
Yeah.
go to the playground. Don't look like a stalker, but go to the playground and just hang out
Yeah.
there, being in that energy, and just think about how
Yeah.
you will be there one day.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the same
And
concept.
someday it just comes to you that you're like, oh wow, I'm really happy for that person, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it just naturally, it comes naturally once you get there, you know.
Yeah. Well, good for you for taking that first step though, because I know it's really difficult to
Oh, yeah.
it's because it's so painful for you having had a miscarriage and having,
Yeah.
been on it on the road for so long, on that,
Yep.
journey for so long. I know it's difficult, but for you to get past that discomfort, you have to get past the discomfort of it in order to
Yes.
be able to grow and
Yeah.
expand and
Yeah.
really bring in what you want. So good for you for
Yeah.
doing that. So
Yeah.
at what age did you get pregnant?
42.
Because I
I
need to make sure we
turned,
mention that because you do you do not look like 42. So we want to make sure that people don't think you're like in your 20s.
no,
You were
no, 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 no,
42.
no, no, no. No. I turned 42 and 2 weeks later we conceived. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what was your mental state after getting the positive pregnancy test?
Oh man, you're like the first person I texted. I didn't even tell anyone. I was like, you know what? Joey deserve to know this. So you're the first one I texted, and I was like, oh man. But then I was trying to like guard myself too, because I had a miscarriage, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, but for some reason, something was telling me, no, this is going to be a good one.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Yeah. So, oh man, I was so happy. I was so happy. Yeah. I was just such a bless. Yeah.
So you were able to manage those doubts that came up after you found out that you were pregnant? Like,
oh yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So I told myself not to to enjoy this, you know, like to be able to enjoy this, to be able to help it grow into a healthy baby. So don't guard yourself too much, you know, because I told myself that you need to enjoy this, you know, and but for some reason I just had a feeling it's gonna be a good baby, you know, like it's gonna come out. Yeah. So but yeah. So you know when it's time.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, you know when it's time that you get a good one, you know, like you just knew it, you know,
you just felt it within you. And now she's a healthy 9.5-month-old baby.
9.5 months baby. Yeah, had such a happy baby. Yeah, healthy baby. Yeah.
That's wonderful. So what are the advantages of being an older mother in your 40s? Can you identify any?
So this is our first baby. So, but I feel like I'm more grateful of her being here. You know, I just, every time like I look at her, I'm just so happy that she's here, you know, that like I've had a few coworkers that are going through different miscarriages and stuff, multiple miscarriages and stuff. And I told him, I was like, you know, like, once you have that kid, you know, you're going to appreciate it a lot more, and then you're going to be much more happier than taking care of that kid, you know? And that's how I felt. Like, I just love her. Like, after work, I just want to go home. Like, I don't go anywhere. I just go straight home. Like, I just want to kiss her cheeks and, you know.
By the way, we're keeping this real because this is like the only time Leslie has from the time off of work to getting home, because once she gets home, it's like baby time. So Leslie, thank you so much for really literally squeezing this in.
No.
What's a lesson that you learned during those challenging times that you will teach your baby, or that you can share with the women?
Just don't give up. Just don't give up. You don't know how many times, you know, when, you know, like, you know, maybe it's not meant to be, you know, that we're not going to have kids, you know, and then, but if you feel it, just don't give up. You know, I've seen patients that have kids in their mid 40s, like 43, 44, 45, even 45. Yeah. So I've seen it. It's not too late, you know?
Yeah.
It's not to just don't give up. Just don't give up. I know. Yeah. It's so hard going through like we all went through it, you know? So it's just so hard. I mean, for some women, it's just so easy for them to conceive, but a lot of us, it's a challenge, you know? And I've seen it. I've seen with my coworkers. I've seen it with my friends too. So yeah. So you're not alone. Just don't give up. You know, just believe in yourself. This is one of the things that I remember you told us, like, you deserve to be a mom. You know, you deserve to. That's your birthright. Oh, that's exactly your word. That's your birthright. You deserve to be a mother. Okay. So that's it. Yeah.
We were born with the plumbing.
Yeah, exactly.
We have the equipment for it. We were born to be mothers, and if you truly believe that you are going to be a mother, just hold on to that dream. I mean, the reason why you believe it so much is because it's within you. It's within your capability.
Exactly. Yeah.
So thank you for that. Oops. Thank you so much for sharing your story, Leslie. It's just
no problem. Anytime.
I'm just so happy for you. And your
Yeah.
beautiful baby girl. I
Thank you.
love seeing her pictures.
I know.
I love that you keep me posted with her pictures.
Yeah.
So thank
No
you.
problem. For sure. You're welcome. So
Yeah.
don't give up, ladies. Yeah,
Absolutely.
just, yep, just don't give up. Yeah.